Thank you for choosing Linus. We strongly recommend you have your bicycle assembled by a professional mechanic. If you prefer to do it yourself, always have a mechanic inspect your bike before riding. Should you have any questions about the assembly process, please contact Linus Customer Service. We're happy to walk you through it. Now, welcome to the Cesta and Aero assembly video. Carefully remove the box staples with a screwdriver. Do your best to preserve the box. Though unlikely, you may need it for return shipping or a warranty claim. We recommend someone assist you to remove the bike from the box. Inside, you'll find some smaller inner boxes. Check the contents. You'll find an owner's manual, cable ties, and pedals, as well as a battery charger. You'll also find a toolbox containing a 15mm box wrench, grease and applicator, and a 4, 5 and 6mm Allen wrench. Remove the keys and quick release skewer and set aside for safekeeping. Clip the zip ties to remove the packaging. Pay attention to avoid contact with the frame, or you could scratch the paint. Next, remove the front wheel from the frame. You may need to change the orientation of the crank arm to remove the wheel. If you are assembling your bike on a hard surface, we recommend not removing the plastic fork protector until you are ready to insert the wheel. Rotate the key while pulling the release lever to remove the battery. The charge indicator light will turn to red. The battery is fully charged when the charger light turns green, in approximately 3 to 4 hours. Remove the faceplate. Place the handlebar into the stem. In a cross pattern, tighten the bolts evenly as you move across the plate. The space between the plate and the handlebar should be equal on all sides. Remove the fork crown bolt. Pass the bolt through the light bracket, then the fork crown, the fender, a washer, then the nut. Using a 10mm wrench and screwdriver, tighten securely. Excess light cable should be fed back into the frame. Remove the plastic protection from the wheel. Insert the quick release skewer through the axle. Avoid touching the brake rotor. Any finger grease could cause the brakes to squeak. Now, at the bottom of the front fork, tighten the top and bottom caliper bolts completely. Then loosen one full turn. Hold the bike firmly against the axle, so the wheel is centered between the fork blades. Pay special attention that both sides of the axle are resting firmly against the fork end and that the wheel is centered between the fork blades. Finger tighten the black acorn nut, and close the quick release lever. If the lever is too difficult to close, then loosen the acorn nut 1/4 turn, and try again. It should require your maximum effort to close the lever. You can now drop the kickstand. The bike is stable. Remove the bolts at the fork dropout and reinsert through the eyelet on the fender stay. To align the brake caliper, hold the brake lever while firmly tightening the caliper bolts. Remove the seat post and apply grease to its base. Always insert past the minimum insertion line. There is a right pedal and a left pedal. You must insert the correct pedal into the correct crank arm. Failing to do so will cause permanent damage to the crank arm. Identify pedals as either the right or left side, by an R, or an L, stamped at the end of the spindle. Apply grease to the thread. Insert the left pedal into the left crank arm, by rotating the spindle counterclockwise. Fully tighten the pedal with the open end of a 15 mm wrench, use enough force that the wrench leaves an impression on your hand. Insert the right pedal into the right crank arm, by rotating the spindle clockwise. Move the display to access the faceplate. Loosen bolts to adjust the handlebar to the desired orientation. Retighten bolts. With a 5 mm wrench, you can adjust the handlebar height, by altering the angle of the stem. The display position can be locked with a 3 mm wrench. Align the handlebar by centering the display over the front wheel. Tighten the headset bolt, but only tighten to the point that the headset spacers do not move. Over-tightening can damage the bearings. The recommended tire pressure can be found on the side of the tire wall. You can make small adjustments to the brake, by rotating the brake lever barrel adjuster. Rotate the barrel counterclockwise to tighten the brake, and clockwise to loosen. You can further tighten the brake, with a 5 mm Allen wrench at the brake caliper. When the battery is fully charged, power up the display by pressing the power button for 3 seconds. Hold down the light symbol to turn on the head and tail lights. If your headlamp does not turn on, check that the switch at the back of the headlight is in the on position. Press the button labeled I to cycle through trip settings. Plus and minus will change the power assist level. Firmly grip the brake levers. The wheels should lock and there should be no movement in the handlebar stem. The saddle should not rotate independently of the frame. Make sure both wheels spin freely. Make sure the crank arm spins freely of the chain guard. If necessary, bend the metal so it does not make contact. Double check that the quick release lever is fully tightened. Lift the bike about 12 inches of the ground. Let it drop to ensure there are no loose parts. With the front wheel secured between your legs, attempt to rotate the handlebars. Handlebars should not rotate independently of the front wheel.